You are now listening to the Highly Evolved Podcast with your host, Safan. Transmission will commence momentarily.
How are you guys doing? This is the HighlyEvolvedPodcast Podcast. My name is Safan. You can find me on Twitter and get.ai. But before I start, I just want to say this is American Patriot channels for real American patriots. If you're not a real American patriot, please exit the channel. And on that note, guys, let's start the broadcast. In this episode, I want to show you an article that I read from Zero Hedge. I'll link a description I'll link the article in the description below. I'm sorry, I'm out of it. That state left unveil new plans to allow cancellation of student loans and bankruptcy. All right. One of the most frustrating features of student loan debt for millions of American students is struggling to pay it down, and the fact that it is extremely difficult to discharge the debt in the bankruptcy. Americans can typically shed their medical debt, credit card debt, and other obligations, but in most cases, their student loan will follow them to their graves. Given the massive outstanding national value of most federally backed student loans, $1.5 trillion in counting, Elizabeth Warren planned to cancel $64 billion in debts with the appeal by millions of students who sees no other way out from under the burden, while pretty much everyone else in the left wondering whether their handouts would come from or whether the government should reimburse them for the loan themselves already paid off. But perhaps, after recognizing the mass student loan default could pose a systematic threat to the financial system if millions of students simply stopped making payments, expected the loans would simply be forgiven, Warren appeared to have pivoted to a different strategy. Warren, in partnership with Senator Dick Durbin, Warren have introduced a Student Borrower Bankruptcy Relief Act in 2019. The state bill would amend American bankruptcy laws to allow student debt to be forgiven during bankruptcy. Though a similar bill was introduced in the House back in 2017, this marked the first time that the Senate was taking a run at it. Here's more of the press release issued by Durbin office. Filing for bankruptcy should be the last resort, but for those student borrowers who have no realistic path to pay their crushing student loan debt, it should be available as an option to help them get back on their feet, Dick Durbin said. Meanwhile, the group of House Democrats led by Jerry Nadler, the oath, introduced a corresponding bill in the House. Former hedge fund manager get out of cash. Now, all right, that's something else different. The man who called the dot-com crashes, the housing boom and burst, and the market surge in 2019 warned a new panic ahead. All right, that's something I actually put in there. This Dick Durbin first time around cancellation student loan debt merry-go-round. He has previously introduced a bill to cancel privately insured student loan debt, among other measures. For the record, in 1976, law bar Americans with loan debt from discharging the debt in bankruptcy unless they can prove undone hardship. In turn, was left undefined judge have over time set a high threshold for what constitute overdue hardship. Of course, allowing these loans to be discharged in bankruptcy would probably cause interest rate to jump up for everyone else. But once the federal government embraced MTT, none of this would matter anyway. All right. So basically, the House and the Senate are trying to introduce a bill to give people an option. All right, and it's championed by the Democrats. I'm really against this, and I'll tell you why. It's because when you release this much debt, right? That it said in the article, it's going to increase interest rate, right? And not only that, but in bankruptcy court, it's gonna leave a bad record. All right. If you don't know by now, if you file for bankruptcy, you're gonna have like 7 years of bad credit or something like that, right? It's not a good thing to file for bankruptcy because there's consequence on top of that. Now, with this bill, nobody hadn't read it yet. All right. What is hidden within this bill? That's why people need to ask the question. Any legislative that's introduced by a Democrat, you have to read the bill thoroughly. Because there's always a catch. It might seem willy-nilly and a good idea at first, but the truth lies underneath the bill itself. You have to read the bill. What is the catch, right? Because right now it seems appealing to most students because most students don't have no option. They can't pay it out. They have a job, right? But what's the consequences? What's the catch? What? They're going to have bad credit for the rest of their life, all right? Their interest rate will go high. Their Social Security will be depleted. All right, what are the consequences? That's what I need to ask. So any bill that's proposed by the Democratic Party, I'm very sketchy. I want to read everything detailed and scrutinize every piece of legislation that they introduce. Because, everything that's introduced by the Democratic, any policy that was introduced by the Democrat is a bad policy. There's always a catch within their policy, right? They're either going to raise your taxes or raise your interest rate. Because look, when they default a bunch of our student loan debt, it's in the trillions, right? You know what it's going to do? It's going to inflate the money system again, all right? Quantitative easing is going to raise the price of everything. It's going to boost the interest rate. When interest rate is boosted up, prices go up. This is what people don't understand. People don't understand basic economics, and not a lot of people have taken economic classes within high school or colleges. They don't take these classes, all right? I took economic class, so I kind of sort of know what it entails, all right? But people don't understand. Yeah, you can forgive your student loan debt, but prices will go up. It's going to be harder to live by, all right? It's about taking personal responsibility. I have student loan debts, and I'm willing to pay it off right now, all right? I'm on the right track. I'm almost paying it off right now. So where does it lead for other people that already paid off their student loan? Suddenly their education is valueless, all right? Have no value? Or what does it lead? How come we didn't have that option when we paid off our student loans, all right? For the people that already paid off their student loan. Why was this option there before? Is it retrospective? Are people entitled to get their money back from student loans, all right? That's what people need to understand. What are the consequences when they impose these acts? You got to question the Democrats and their motive, all right? Same goes for that cap on interest rate that AOC and Bernie Sanders introduced, right? There's a catch to that. There's always a catch to that. They want to cap it at 15%. Now, when they do that, that means there's more regulations in businesses. That's more government regulations. When they want to cap something, that means they want bigger government. All right? When they want more regulation, that means they want bigger government. When there's bigger government, there's less freedom. All right? If they could control a corporation like the credit corporation, that means they could control any corporation out there. All right? They could control my business. If I have a successful business, I mean the government can control my business. And that's not freedom. All right? This is why I'm so anti-government. The more government, more taxes. The more regulation, more taxes. All right? And this is what people don't understand. Capping something. When you cap something, it's regulation. That's what it is. It's the regulations. And it's controlling people's business. All right, there's more government in business. Sure, it might seem a good thing. There's one thing that Tucker Carlson actually praising this. There's one thing I disagree with Tucker Carlson. All right, there's one thing that people are in credit, right? Well, people need to realize that when you sign the contract on the dotted line, they have an obligation to meet, and the interest rate is that they know the interest rate. You don't supposed to sign anything without looking and reading it. So when you sign it, you already agree to this stuff. All right, it's a consequence. You have to take personal responsibility. All right, you just can't get out. You have to be responsible for what you sign. That's why you have to read everything thoroughly, every legislative that they're presenting to people. All right, now with this legislative about the Bankruptcy Act that would alleviate student loans, I'm against this because I don't know what's in the act. People, like most Congress people, they don't even read the bill. They just sign it because of persuasion by another person. That's what it is. So don't be fooled by what they're saying. Don't be fooled by the word of the acts, the title of the acts. Sometimes the title is misleading. Is not the true acts. It might be a different act disguised as a student borrower bankruptcy act. All right. You gotta be sketchy about this. But that's all I gotta say. That's what I think about what's the Democrat doing. Always challenge their proposition. Always challenge their laws, their bill that they introduces. It might not seem what it's supposed to be. If it's too good to be true, then you have to question it. All right. But on that note, guys, my channel is not sponsored by YouTube. That means I'm not scripted, unrehearsed, and unedited. I mean, I'm not bound by any outside interference. Because of that, I'm not taking any donations. I'm doing this practically for free because I want to wake America up, bring them back to reality, and show them how the world works and how evil the Democratic Party are. And if you like what I'm thinking, if you like what I'm saying, please follow me on social media, Twitter and Gap.ai. Most importantly, subscribe, because when you subscribe, it shows me that people are actually listening to me, and they encourage me to make more videos for you guys to enjoy. And on that note, guys, let me know what you think in the description below. I'll leave the article in the description below. And on that note, this is the Highly Evolved Podcast. My name is Stefan. I appreciate you listening all the way through, and I hope you guys have a good day. I'll check you guys in the next broadcast. Peace.